Hello and welcome to my channel Bobo Bun. I'm Lisa. I'm a vintage inspired dressmaker and dressmaking teacher. Just so you know, if you're new joining me, and if you're an old friend coming back for more, then that's really lovely and I'm just thrilled to have you join me again this week. What's on the cards today? Well, I'm very busy working towards my Patreon launch, which is next week, next Thursday, June the 1st. So there's so much filming and making and just busy adulting stuff going on. So I'm very excited about the launch. Got loads of lovely things and treats planned for everybody. I have managed to find a few moments to make for me, and I've been to a vintage fair, so I wanted to show you some of the things I've been making. I've got something new on here. And some of the things I bought, so therefore the sewing plans for the future, the things I can divulge, and what I should have been sewing, and just a general roundup of Me Made May, because as we know, this is Me Made May. If you're a sewist or a knitter, you want to share your garments, you know, how you wear them in your wardrobe, and I'm taking part, posting a photo every day. So shall we get on with the show and tell part? I'll show you a full length of the dress I'm wearing, but before I do that, I will just quickly tell you a bit. It's in a beautiful dead stock crepe. It was Next Designer crepe from New Craft House, which I saw on one of their recent drops. And I just absolutely loved it. Look, if I stretch the fabric out, what's not to love? Roses on cream, there's little black hearts, there's black ribbons all going down, and I've interplayed with the angles. You may have seen this dress on Instagram when I wore it for the first time moments after I finished it. I've used the Rita blouse, which is one of my favourite patterns to hack, but I went to the original lower length rather than raising it. I've done sleeves mid-length. Sometimes I like to do them longer, and the original ones are quite short. I don't really like them. They feel like a strap more than a sleeve. So I've used the bodice. I've got the midriff, which I have cut as one whole piece front and back. So I overlaid the pattern pieces to get rid of the seams. So I did that. I wanted a smoother line and not to interrupt, and not to have even more pattern matching to do. And then I've added a 3-tier twirly whirly skirt. So let's show you what this looks like, shall we? I had so many lovely compliments about this dress, and I felt absolutely fabulous in it. I still want to do a little tweak, just pull the waist in it just a little bit loose at the waist. So that's the only tweak I want to do with it. On the Saturday was my newly finished black Anouk cardigan. It's not so great trying to show up black things on video, so I have 3. I have a black one, a stone coloured one, and a pink one, and they go with so many things and they're super cozy. I'm thinking I need a blue one. Yeah, there's always more, you know, when it's a shape you really love and you want to mix and match it with lots of May the 14th. I did talk about this in Bobo in the Bog, so apologies if it's a repeat, but if not, you know, you're getting it for the first time, or you might like hearing this again. I went to Little Vintage Lover Fair, which I absolutely adore, and I wore another dress that I'd finished. I'm going to hold it up for you here because I want to show you the pockets. It's the Peggy bodice from Charm Patterns, and I will pop a photo up of me wearing it in a moment. And it's got the Butterick 6550 skirt. 655, yeah, that's right. And instead of using the horseshoey shape pockets, I've drafted my own heart-shaped ones. They're rather large. I've seen lots, you know, on Instagram, various places that are much smaller, and I wanted, you know, the really large pockets. So I used the dimensions of the original to construct mine, and then I felt they needed finishing off with a bow, and I've added a trim at the sides, and then you get in your nice deep pockets from here. And it's in that really lush fabric, which I did show you, but I tracked that one down. So yeah, and I similarly felt fabulous wearing that. Felt really happy in that dress. So I've had 2 really successful dress makes, some marvellous things. I could have built so much more. I was trying to be good. A lot of it had got to focus. Either I knew what I wanted to be making for me, and they will all be for me, or they will be things that will be used for my Patreon projects in the future. I'm going to show you the brightest first. Can we see this? and probably need it as a powder puff of colour. It's the most beautiful pink spotted, really hot pink tulle, dotted tulle. That's going to become a petticoat, and that's from the lovely Petra Bose. She lives locally, and I always joke, she's so lovely. I get on really well with her. She's fantastic with my daughter Millie. You know, she's a mum as well, and she always remembers what Millie's up to and things, and promises me one day she'll get to my sewing club. I'm not sure what I can teach her. She's hugely talented, has a marvellous business, and I'm thinking about getting some of her applique sequined angel wings to put on a bag, and maybe some of the letters. But yeah, she's loads of fun, Petra, and I always joke and say that she's my stalker best friend, the one that I stalk to be my best friend. So but I wouldn't mean anything bad by her. She's just always a delight to see. That's the other thing with these vintage fairs, you see lots of lovely people that you know, and it's just so nice to catch up. So I bought that from Petra and some other little bits. My friend Teresa, who is the antiques dealer's wife, you can find on Etsy, she was there, and she'd put aside, I'm just going down the pile here, she'd put aside a couple of fabrics. She put them in front of me. She said, you don't have to have them, I just thought you might like these, I knew you'd be coming. So, and they're both 1950s cottons. There's this beautiful one here, and then this one here. Is it showing up? Sometimes they go a bit hazy. I'm trying to peek round to see if it's showing. Yeah, I think you can see it now. So I've got those two. And I also picked this lovely cotton from here. All the colours go really well together. If I hold them all up, let's get them on a nice pile so you can see them. Those are those colours there. And then I found, I mean, this was like £5, it's unbelievable. This teal velvet, and I know what that will be. Some of these will be blouses and tops, not necessarily for Patreon, these ones, and this is something else. So I got those from Teresa, plus another stall along. I found this, it shuts properly, this fabulous tin, and I've popped some of my wares inside, and from Teresa I got all these vintage millinery pieces, and there's leaves and whatnot. And then she's got, I was after a load of stamens, you know, millinery stamens to make some more flowers, and she's got those, so we've got to sort out me meeting her to get those. And there's some other things in this tin I'll show you. And then I was really excited that Nikki of Missy Mops Fabrics, she came up from Hastings. We were chatting lots, and I think I convinced her it'd be worth coming up to check the fair out, so she had a pitch. And yes, I could have bought loads more, but I'd only got so much in my budget, so I'd got to hold back. But I could have bought tons from Nikki as well. And I mean, she had the most glorious, glorious chocolate brown 1930s cotton with a little print all over it. I just kept thinking, however beautiful this is, would I really wear it? And I just don't want it to be something that's to one side. You know, it's something you want somebody else to have and enjoy. And on that note, there was something I was thinking last night I was going to tell you. Last time I was on here talking to you about sewing, I showed you some of the things that I needed to make works in progress. And one was this beautiful McCall's dress in the Till the Sun Goes Down silk. And yes, I have sewn on the buttons on the front. And the thing that was putting me off finishing it, it's just really silly because I'm so busy, it's finding time to do things. And I was going to do the standard 1930s placket with the poppers. And I just couldn't be bothered. Every time I sat down, I thought, I just can't be bothered. So in the end, I thought, I'll quickly pop a zip in. Look who's put the zip in. This is the sleeve, the underarm. And the sleeve does up that way. It shouldn't do things when you're in a hurry and you're tired. So I've got to take the zip out and switch it round, and then I can hem it, and it's rather stretched out at the back being on the bias, the skirt. So I'm going to need my love to crawl around on the floor and help me with the hemming, and then I will finally be wearing my beautiful dress. So it's getting nearer. The Wearing History smooth sailing blouse. I know I'm not showing any of these on the mannequin. I'm being tardy here, sitting down, but I just want to have the rest and chat with you today. So I have just about finished. I'm turning it inside out because it's gone the wrong way around. Feeling where the buttons are. Yes, so I've sewn all the buttons. Let's hold this up and see if you can see the buttons. It's this beautiful Betsy Liberty print. Let's me put this in front of my face, and then you can see it's a bit of a mixture of buttons because I didn't have all of these. I've got most of these and 2 of these other ones. So I've done all the buttons, I've done everything, and then I put it on and I realised it was a bit longer than I wanted, so I've got to shorten that. Then I will finally be wearing that too. And as for my trousers, they had various fitting issues. I think each of these things sort of had a fitting issue and tweaks, and it just held up, and I got fed up with them and moved on to other things. But I love them and I want to finish them. So I had to do some various fitting tweaks to, these are the Wearing History home front overalls as trousers. So I finally put the waistband on. I've got the placket here. I had originally been filming a how-to video for you with these, and I just got lost in between. The thing I'm annoyed I haven't done, and I'm thinking, do I cut off and make another waistband? Because I could still at this point, is I forgot to make a curved waistband where I removed it. So here it needs to be removed in the waistband. At the moment it stands away from my body. And then once I'm happy with the waistband, I'll top stitch that and put some white buttons down the side, and they will be ready to be worn. So as an aside for the, sorry, I thought they were falling on the floor. As an aside for the curved waistband, you have to think with your waist, it's not constructed just on a rectangle. You know, most women's bodies, we just gradually go out like so. Have an upper waist measurement that which will be slightly narrower than our lower waist measurement, you know, the lower part where the waistband hits. So you need to remove a wedge out, generally at the front and the back, to stop it standing up away. That's your body here in the waistband standing away. You want it to hug you. I normally remember to do that with my waistbands, and I forgot with this one. So yeah, more stalling before I be wearing said trousers. The thing I want to ask you, I feel really bad about this, but there's a lady and she's so lovely. She's in my beginner sewing class, and last night they'd all finished what they've been working on, so they're bringing in projects of their own choice, and I saw this fabric she'd got, and it was really narrow, and it was the most glorious, like china blue with magenta on a white background, like floral. And I instantly knew it was vintage. And I said to her, do you realise, you know, that's a vintage piece, you know, do you like vintage? She said, no, I just got this job lot bag I bought on Facebook Marketplace for about £20. My husband went and picked it up, and there was just all sorts in there. And this was in there too, and I just thought it was quite nice. And I'm thinking, you don't know the precious thing you've got in front of you. I measured it and I felt the fabric, and with the colours and whatever, I said, this is 1940s vintage fabric. You know, and I could just picture all the most beautiful 1940s dresses, that this glorious mint condition 3 meters of 1940s fabric. And I couldn't stop thinking about it last night. I kept thinking, should I just message her and offer her money, say I want to buy this? It's just so precious. I revere vintage fabric and the quality of it and the fact that it's lasted, and I want, you know, to make the most of it, not just to be something that you cut out and you don't actually know if you're going to like the top, and it just seems such a terrible waste to me. So I just don't know what to do. But yeah, I keep thinking about that fabric and thinking, please. She did say last night, I'm feeling like I should gift it to you because you'd probably appreciate it more than me, and I'm thinking, I'd love to say yes, but that sounds really rude, so I kept quiet. But just when I see treasure in front of me, you know, you're just like, I mean, I immediately knew, yeah. Anyway, that's an aside, because I'll start getting palpitations and worrying about this cloth. Right, back to Nikki, Missy Mops, what I picked from her. So she had some beautiful original vintage that wasn't even washed, and it got the original labels on. So can you see this one, the original label on it? And orange isn't my usual colourway, but she'd put this on her post when she would be coming, and it just struck me as just so beautiful. So some sort of summer dress or skirt, but I just thought that was just really delightful. So I picked that up, and oh, don't know what I've just dropped on the floor. Sorry about that little tap. And then I picked up this green brocade. Can you see it's sort of minty green? It's got a beautiful weave in it. So that will become a lovely dress. Just thought they were just beautiful. Rather an unusual colour to me. And from Nikki I also got, she sells the most beautiful trims and you know, like lace and neck collars, all sorts of things. So I got these velvet ribbons. I love the edging on this one, and this hot pink one. So I've saved these all in the tin. Yeah, and like I say, I've got a few other little bits and bobs, but I had the most marvellous time. As I've said to you, I've not had so much sewing time because I've been focusing on getting all my Patreon ready and set up, along with you know, running my sewing school in real life, you know, teaching the classes and doing what needs to be done in the home and life and all of the other things. So there hasn't been much sewing, but I got some beautiful striped jersey, apple green and bright pink from Fabric Godmother, and I had a lovely couple of hours one morning sewing those both up, and they're gable top bodies with the Agnes, Tilly and the Buttons Agnes sleeves. So I'll pop some pictures up to show you what those look like. Yes, I'm really pleased with those. Which then brings me into Me Made May. You know, it's very much because you're recording. I mean, not everybody records every day, but I choose to record an image every day of what I'm wearing. And one, you're sort of thinking about what you're presenting to people. And I am honest, I don't sort of just put something on to dress up for the camera and then put something scruffy on or whatever I want to be wearing. It is actually what I'll be wearing that day, but it helps you think, which clothes do I reach for? You know, how long have I had these? You know, what's the longevity of that? You know, where are the gaps in my wardrobe? What do I enjoy wearing? What colours am I drawn to? It really gets you to think about your output of sewing and what you're wearing. And helps you, hopefully, not sew a lot more of the things that you don't wear and you don't like. You know, and then I move things on. Every year I've either given things to charity, sold them on Instagram, gifted them to friends, or I've repurposed them. And I try and mend or alter things as well that I need to. So it's like a real conscious look at your sewing and your output. And I found that I'm wearing a heck of a lot of pink, green, black, creams. What other? I think they're the main colours, yeah, that are coming through, and just a few neutrals. And I thought I wore far more blue. I've got lots of blue things up, but it seems that I've not been reaching for my blues as much, even though I love them. So Me Made May is, yeah, it's coming to an end, but I've really been enjoying it. It's my 8th year of taking part, and yeah, I really enjoy it. So I keep looking down, but it's really distracting when you've got the monitor there and the camera. So if I talk to the monitor there, I'm not looking at you. If I look at the lens, I'm talking to you, and I know I'm chatting to you. You're inside my camera like little people in Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, you know, Mike TV. Sorry, inside my head there. That's how I picture it. You're just there receiving my chat, and then through the airwaves you'll be able to tell me what you think later, because I can't hear you because you're inside the camera. But this is how we play it. But if I look down, it's because I'm getting distracted by seeing myself waving about over there. So enough asides, Lisa. We don't need to deep dive into your brain. I think, yeah, we've pretty much covered all of this subject for this week. Next week I will be in the bog, and then on Thursday I go live on Patreon. So if you've subscribed to my Patreon page, you'll be getting your first project. And then on the 10th of the month it will be my Break Time News, Bobo's Break Time News, chatting about the theme of that month's project, scattered in between with sneak peeks and all sorts of things in between to aid. And then if you're on the highest tier, you'll be getting a bonus project, even more exciting. So, sorry, I'm just now seeing our elderly cat is just peeing on the floor in front of me. I just wonder what he was doing. I may cut this out, I may not, but yeah, you know when you want to get up and just, yeah, I'm not thrilled. I know you're old, but I don't know. Anyway, kind of lost the thread. The cat having a wee on the kitchen floor has totally thrown me off. I think I've covered everything I wanted to share with you today. So I think it's time to say goodbye, and yeah, I go and get the rubber gloves on, don't you? So happy sewing, and I shall catch you again very soon. Take care, lovely people. Bye bye.